and 5.5 million for an acre. Feel free to reach us on 0726 202 826 or visit our offices at TRV Towers, Ngara Road, 4th floor, Suite 4C. Madaraka Homes Ltd. As always, we have something great for you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching us from. This is the Leadership Ladder again, and I'm here, your host, the game changer, Natasha Wana, and today I have a lovely lady with me. She's called Julia Nchege, HSC. Atatuambia wewe inamaanisha nini, wengine award winner 2023. Karibu sana. Maybe you can tell us a little bit. Unajua kuna watu first of all wajui inasimamia nini hapo mwisho na wajui hii award about mheshimiwa mwenye mimi napenda kuita mheshimiwa.
Thank you. Hata hiyo ni yangu. Thank you so much, and good evening to our viewers wherever they are watching us from different parts of the world, and especially in Kenya. My name is Julia Nyokabi Chege, HSC. HSC means Head of State Commendation, and that award I was given His Excellency William Samuel Ruto for having innovated a new innovation for women on dried arrowroots that women, it's going to curb hunger, and also is part of climate change and carbon credits and all that. So it's an innovation that I was awarded. It was actually a very big surprise to me, and thank you so much, HE, for honoring me with that. I really appreciate. We were just 9 of us, and the whole country I was given that, so I do not take it for granted, and I will continue serving this country in innovative ways that I can be able to reach our women, and especially in the digital space. Yeah, so that's about the commendation.
Wow. So let me ask you, as we talk about women and the leadership ladder, man, how does it feel to shake? Unajua watu wengine sisi tunaonanga tu kwa TV na tumewanusia tu pale. How does it feel to shake a president as a woman leader? As in, how does it feel?
And we even had a conversation.
Yes, yeah. After this, naomba unipe number.
Well, first of all, it didn't just come. Of course, it's through hard work.
Yeah.
When I left my village, which is Kangema, a place called Rwadia, in a place called Kiganjo, Kenya Ajero. When I left that place, I went to Kiaderi Girls. After Kiaderi Girls, I went to University of Nairobi. I did my first degree as medical biochem. And I did that for my dad. Wow. He wanted me to become a doctor, so I did that for him, and I'm sure he's happy. I was just with him a few minutes ago. Then I did psychology counseling. Then I did a master's in women leadership and governance. Currently, I'm finishing my PhD in women leadership and water sanitation and hygiene. And so the journey has been very tremendous, and it has been very challenging, of course. I think I didn't have time to actually do a lot of socialization out there, because half of my age I've been in school, you can imagine. So and I've not had a gap in between my life, the way you find people saying that for 3 years I was struggling, there's nothing I was doing. So I've always done very many things. So my first entrepreneurial encounter with myself, I would say, immediately after Form 4, I started coaching young kids, coaching, and I would charge every woman 20 shillings, and I would have like 50 children. So you can imagine my village, I never picked tea because I was busy coaching, you know? Then I used to teach women how to do chips marigo, matoke, and they could come, and I used that innovation from home science in Form 4. And they would come, and they would gather, they would come with firewood, they would come with mafuta, then my mother would provide bananas, and then me, I would provide the skill. And you can imagine that collectiveness of the women, you know. I belonged to their chamas as much as I was about 19, you know. I was 18.
Wow.
I had just turned 18, so And that money I used it to go to college, by the way.
Wow.
And in the village, my classmates, they can attest to this.
Yeah.
I used to have good life because I could afford good hair, I could afford, nice things. Because when I finished Form 4, my dad told me, now, watch, you have finished Form 4, kindly let me educate your brothers, so don't disturb me with this, wait until you go to college. So that was the first innovation, and of course, I also became an adjudicator. Through the music lessons that I had learned from school. I was sponsored by a friend to come to Catholic University, and I did adjudication course. So I used to adjudicate, and I used to love, I love fun, I love, dancing, and you can sing, and I would adjudicate, and I get a source of income. And that is why when I talk about women empowerment, you just need to capacitate women who are willing, So my journey has been like that. I have done very many businesses. In fact, there's a business I did garbage collection in Nairobi. You can imagine. I did a bureau for house girls.
Wow.
I also have done a cyber. Actually, that cyber was auctioned. It was at Kenya Cinema, second floor. And the young people would tell me hakuna net, and then they are subazzaling the net, and then me, I would just pay the ISP people and electricity and pay them actually to actually steal from me.
What?
So I have learned over time. I've had a customer care, center. I have done very many businesses, and that's what I'm saying. In my life, I have not had a gap to just be idle. And I have also worked with the UN. I've worked with AMLEF. I've worked with UNICEF. I've worked with WHO. I've worked with Kenyatta National Hospital. I've worked with Nakuru Annex, Historical Lab. Actually, that one I think I need to talk about it, because why I left Biochem is when I was told to do a post-mortem, and the doctor who was actually training us was not very good and kind to us. He just brought a body and dropped it there and switched off the lights and told us, I need the results. I'm telling you, that particular time I knew this is not my thing, and I left and I didn't say goodbye. So I also participated in bringing of comprehensive care centers in this country. I was sent by the late Dr. Sobi Murindi of KNH to go and bring that concept. I came with it, and one of the hospitals, Mata Hospital, went with it very fast, and you find today people suffering from or affected by HIV, they go to one-stop station. They're able to be treated, they're able to be tested and given drugs. Than the way it used to be long time. People used to just come and you are told, enda pale, there is where you go for test, enda pale, there is where you go for medication. And along the way, people used to get lost and do not, the drugs uptake was not very good. So, and I also brought the mending of the ribbon, KTM.
Wow.
The brain behind that. I have authored 3 books currently, and I'm very grateful because I can talk so much about the achievement, but one of the most phenomenal achievement is when I've been able to work with women collectives, that is the chamas and organized women groups and all that, and you learn the strength of women and what they can be able to do. And over time, I've realized women can do anything. They can go any height. And in terms of financial inclusion, financial capabilities, the information that our women need. There's a lot that our women are able to do when they are together. Now, the only challenge with that is that most of the women collectives are not registered, They are not even known by the government. Therefore, they are not able to benefit from things like WEF. They are not able to benefit Women Enterprise Fund, that is, they are not able to benefit even like from the Hasra Biashara, Hasra Fund, and many other funds that they can benefit from when they are registered. So, number one, the challenge that I faced along the way is that at times I operated without being registered. So when you operate when you are not registered, there's a big challenge because you are not known, and so even if you want to, somebody will ask you, who are you? You say you are Julia. So some people will not go ahead and explain to you. I want to know well, how are you registered, which is your company, what are you doing, you know. So
true,
that
true.
is one of the challenges. Of course, challenge number 2 is financial resources for women. Women, they don't have resources, and if you go into the history of this country, you realize that women are coming from very far. Women didn't even own IDs, identity cards. They were just there, and we want to thank and actually celebrate the women who actually fought for this, the second liberation, and what we have gained today. Even being here today and expressing and being able to teach what we are doing, and even expressing like this company, it's a male area,
dominated area, and actually even talking, standing out. Because you see, even when we were growing up, you see, we used to know wanawake ni wa kitchen, wanawake, like you couldn't see even a woman stand out to speak and even actually articulate themselves. But there's something, let me take you back, there's something you said, you know, there's a meme that was running around. A doctor who had gone kwa hiyo postmortem akaenda akakutana na mwili katolewa akakimbia mbio, but the nini was closed. So you've eventually said that, and then I've remembered that kameme, that it has been going round. So you said that kabit, and I was like, hiya, kumbe it's actually real. So
you know, in every sector, in every profession, there is, for lack of a better word, there is something we call monorization. You know, you know, when you are being introduced to that, some people are very funny. They'll just, and I'm sure he didn't mean bad to us, but he never thought that we were cowards like that. But there is always that orientation. One, to you, if you go to a place and you are oriented in the wrong way, then you get the wrong culture and the wrong, you know. So it's been a journey.
It's been a journey, and to me, there are two words that I've picked from all this: hard work and also intellect. Because you see, out there, women are not seen as people who can actually articulate themselves, and they're intelligent, if you can use that word. Ile, you come up with ideas, and I would want now to understand, how has your leadership journey been as a woman? Like, how has been the experience? How did you get yourself, like, growing from now an entrepreneur? You've done so many business. How has your journey as a leader?
Mentors who have looked up to, some alive, some dead, but nevertheless they are my mentors. I know, being a woman leader, sometimes I consider myself as a gifted person, because I am able to fit in the academia, I'm able to fit in politics, because most of the people, even in my church, I'm a Sunday school teacher, by the way. So, and my leverage will ask me, how do you juggle between this? But I think it's drawing the line, getting to know, and especially after I realized what is my purpose. You know, when I was doing all these things, you know, doing so many businesses, my eureka moment was 2017, when I met a friend of mine called Dr. Kenya Ngara. Actually, it's not 2017. I think it's way back, about 2007. Yes, thereabout. And that time I had just lost my business, and I have been up and down, and the topic of the day was, don't go down without a fight. You know. And he took us through my life journey, my purpose. And I realized my SWOT, what is my strength, what is my threat. You know, and I realized, yes, I can do business that I am empowering people, but I also have an inherent, you know, gift that I can be able to actualize, you know. So I trained in public speaking, and I tried that, and that's when I realized, so even those who are in politics, I've always been wanting to be a politician, and go into politics. Even at the university, I was the student leadership. And I remember those times it was hard for women at the university. We could just carry stones for the men, and they would throw the stones, you know. So it was very hard, and you not alienate yourself from the others. So you must be able to carry the stones irrespective of your faith, you know. If you don't do that, then, you know, that peer pressure, peer whatever, you know. And I started my journey of wanting to vie for member of parliament Kangema. I was a bit young. I didn't have a family then, and therefore my family was a bit hesitant. How do you go into politics when you don't have a family? And of course I kept on supporting young people and older people. You know, some are MPs today, some are governors, some are MCAs. Most of them, some of them have passed through my hands in terms of you know, capacity building them and trying to help them, because one of the things that our leaders lack in this country, especially in Kenya, is authentic people who can actually be with you, and people who can actually tell you you are naked as a king. You know, many people will not tell you that. They'll just massage your ego,
don't tell you actually the truth,
so that you can give them something. Very few people will not be able to tell you that. But from my background and how I was raised up, I will not be able to hide in that cocoon of massaging anybody's ego. I will not be able to, even if I was to do that, I would do it for a day. And I'll forget and I'll tell you this is not the right thing. Whether you take it or not, at least you have had. So I began the journey. And of course I didn't buy 2007 and the hair broke. I remember I had a business in a place called Mount Elgon. I had two brand new matatus. I had a loan from Barclays Bank, you can imagine. And tulikuwa tunaziita ganya, matairi hivi. And I'm telling you, and I don't want our country to get to that direction. That's why I'm very emotional about what the chaos that are happening, because I lost close to 3 million at that age. You can imagine. My drivers were thrashed into small pieces and thrown in a paper bag, and just because they were Kikuyus, and yet they were not carrying Kikuyus in that area. And therefore I lost business, I lost money. Remember, insurances were not covering post-election violence. Were not covering political violence or something. So I paid that loan from my pocket. You know, you can imagine. So I went back now to my profession of medical biochem in the laboratory, because that's the work, my work in the laboratory. For things we were calling them locums. So you go from one hospital to the other to service that loan. You know, so that business went like that, and of course there were chaos and all that. And I want to caution our country, let us not get into that direction, because it is not a good direction. We are on a downward trajectory, and we need to actually share from that. If it is dialogue that is needed, so be it. Our country is larger than everybody else in this country. So after that I came back and I did network marketing. I did network marketing.
Network marketing.
I did network marketing for 9 years, and I was the best GNLD. And I used to earn about 300,000 to 400,000 per month.
Lakini hata tuseme ukweli. Julia. Hizo vitu za network, kuna watu wengine tulikuwa tunasikia we did not make it. I think when
it will depend with what is running after you. If a cat is running behind you, you don't need to run, you just need to walk. But if there's a lion, I need you to sprint. So for me, I'm the firstborn in my family, and therefore had a bigger responsibility. So things had to work for me.
So that's actually money that happens. Network marketing.
It happened. My first car, my first car, and it was a lot of money. And up to date I still remember that car. It was as Toyota started, KAG 368L.
What?
And I'm telling you, that car was so much money because it was 190,000. And I bought it, and I didn't know that you're supposed to pay for insurance. So what I did when I bought it, then the following day I upright then, and I thank God for you, Josephine Kenya, wherever you are. She told me, now you need to buy your own insurance. You know, you're operating with mine. Then I'm like, so how much is the insurance? Another 20,000. I don't have the money, so I had to wait for the car had to stay at home. Then I get the money so that I can buy insurance. So it's a journey. The day I was able to buy now a brand new car, I remember I bought a LA4. That LA4, I actually crashed with it at Makuyu on my way to Nyeri. We were going for a business meeting, and of course we were young that time, so we were in carnival the previous night, dancing and feeling nice. So I slept on the road, and boom, I got head-on collision. Thank God I'm alive, you know. I would have died, by the way. Then that was written off. I bought another one, Toyota Fielder. Now that one, it was a black one. It looked business and all that. And I've upgraded very many other cars after that. So I did network marketing. I traveled the world. I went to the US because of GNLD. I went to Nigeria. I went to South Africa. I went to East Africa, all of it. Actually, I even went to Somalia. Though I had gone with AMREF, I was still consulting for AMREF that time. And then I was still finishing my second degree. So my life has been, a ton of events, So I did that one, and it was successful until a time I now decided I want to settle down and get a family, and I got children. Wow. So I stopped being. My landlord used to ask me, when are you ever in the house? Because I was more on the air and than on the land and in my house. I was never in my house. And I've also done. I've sold cars. Yes, one of the challenges that I got is that one time I sold a Toyota Cedia. That gave me a lot of problems because I was given a fake banker's check. You can imagine. Wow. And when I was given a fake banker's check, I didn't know what to do with it. I tried chasing after the thief. It's very hard to catch a thief. Did you know that? Very hard to catch a thief, So after about 9 months, just like giving birth, a mechanic called me and told me, we have seen your car here. It's being sold at 300,000. So we went with the police and we got it. So it had been sold to a Shyrock. So that's how the thief had, So it has been crazy. I've also been conned when I'm buying land, unanunua hewa. So see kama Madaraka, Madaraka, they are honest. But there are some who will sell you land that is not existing. And they take advantage of the women because they know you don't know. And hii hurabaru ya mashamba Kenya, mashamba in our culture, kashamba ni kitu ya muhimu. So you end up buying a shamba ambayo imeuzwa watu watano, and there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You either decide to leave it or something like that. I have done very many, even salon business I've tried.
Hey,
I'm telling you.
This is Nini. So it's thank you very much. You've taken us through journey, and we are gonna take a break. When you're back, Julia is gonna be taking us through women empowerment. How do we how does she empower women? How does she impact women's lives? How has she groomed and grown women? And above all, matters investments.
Yes.
Wanawake, kwa nini ni muhimu you invest, and why as well she associates herself with Madaraka Homes. See you after the break.
Thank you. Thank you.
Percentage of people can well project what the future holds and then invest. Well, we bring you the residential solution in one of the fastest growing areas in Kenya. Juja Crescent Gardens is the perfect place for your perfect home. It's only 40 minutes drive from the Nairobi CBD off Thika Superhighway. The project is in a serene environment with hospitals, schools, police stations, great shopping centers, and well tarmacked roads. Madaraka Homes Ltd is offering this project at a crash price of 845,000 Kenyan shillings for an eighth of an acre and 5.5 million for an acre. Feel free to reach us on 0726 202 826 or visit our offices at TRV Towers, Ngara Road, 4th floor, suite shillings for an eighth of an acre and 5.5 million for an acre. Feel free to reach us on 0726 202 826 or visit our offices at TRV Towers, Ngara Road, 4th floor, suite 4C. Madaraka Homes Limited. As always, we have something great for you. Welcome back to the leadership ladder. Today it has just been amazing. We've walked the journey, and one of the things that is coming out very we need to, like, hard work, intellect. Like, having such a woman on this show is just even an honor to see the things that she's gone through. She's shared with us her journey, her leadership journey since she was young. Man, one of the things that has really gotten me is that hakuna shortcut kwa maisha.
Hakuna pesa ya sare.
Hakuna pesa ya sare. Kwanza hapo pesa ya sare siku hizi inatuzumbua kidogo. Na pesa ya haraka haraka. And one of the things that you brought out is keep on trying.
Yeah.
Keep on trying. Hata kama ni 1,000, you don't know, maybe 1,001 ndio itafunguka kabisa. So some of the things. So right now I want us maybe Julia, you can tell us.
Yes.
About women empowerment.
Yeah.
What are the pillars of women empowerment? Tell us where women we are going wrong. What are we doing wrong in the society today? What do we need to do better? When you look back, what are the mistakes that you look at and you're like, by there I wouldn't want any other person to go through what I went through? What are the lessons that you've picked from this journey that you've just shared with us?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Once again, now we are discussing the women economic empowerment.
Yeah.
And women economic empowerment is very critical in a country that want to progress, because when you empower a woman, you are empowering a nation.
Yes.
You are empowering literally everyone. Not belittling our men, but at least we know women are the ones who get the burden of caregiving. They are the ones who get the burden of health care issues.
Yes.
They are the ones, if for example a child is naughty, they're the ones who get, the burden of mtoto wako ni mbaya, mtoto wako hana tabia.
Kwanza mtoto mbaya anakuanga wa mama.
Mtoto mbaya anakuanga wa mama, lakini yule mzuri anakuanga wa baba. Yeah, so women economic empowerment is very critical. First of all, the ability to participate equally within the resources that are available. That is economic empowerment. And the ability for a woman to even look at herself and not feel bad that you have a big stomach or a big whatever, or how you look like. Nobody should body shame you. So it's about empowerment. An empowered woman, for example, if you reach menopause and you are sweating, you just pat yourself like this and you're asking everybody, you're not feeling hot like I am feeling, and because you're empowered,
exactly,
not feeling bad. Oh, this thing, I'm feeling hot. What? That is part of economic empowerment. It's also about access and control. Access and control. You can access the resources and you can control them. You find in some communities in our country, they can actually access the resources, but they don't control them. A good example is land. In our country, land, not many people, thank God for Madaraka, at least you can come here and be able to buy a piece of land as a woman. But I am telling you, there are communities, you are regarded as a woman, you are regarded as others, or a child. And even, it's of late that my community, they have started, believing in women. You would hear a man introducing the wife, Salmia mama watoto, and ama Salmia watu wangu.
Watu wangu.
Salmia watu wangu. Such comments, they are actually demeaning women and actually making the women feel that the place is just the kitchen. And therefore, one of the things that we must consider when we are talking about women economic empowerment is financial inclusion for women. So we are talking about the banks that we have in our country. Are they favorable to the women? When they are giving their loans, are they educating the women what they are signing against for, or what are they doing? Thank God for something we are calling a credit guarantee scheme. And therefore women can be able to, that's a discussion for another day, those credit guarantee schemes, if they work in our country well, because they have worked elsewhere, I'm sure we can be able to benefit, the women can be able to benefit. The other thing is access to economic activities. For example, are you able to be employed in a decent job as the manager of Madaraka Homes? You're able to be employed in a place where you're able to control a decent job, And also women economic empowerment is also about recognizing the unpaid work for women. Like for example, a housewife who is in the house from morning to evening, that is unpaid work. That should be recognized. That she works in the house from 8 to 5. That is unpaid work. Then the other thing is letting our women participate. Participate in economic forums, like if we have forums for women are able to be invited, and not just women who can actually contribute. There's so many challenges along with women economic empowerment. One is women are not able to access credit, and the credits that they are accessing, some of them they are not told the hidden agenda, and therefore like for example the mama boga or the women, when they go for that loan, and maybe the collateral was the cow will come and be sold. The TV will be sold. And you see, we talked about access and control. You can access the TV, but the controlling is for the man. So if the cow goes, you will say ilienda wapi. Are you seeing? So we need to explain to the women what is this that they are signing. Give them all the information. Some of them cannot be able to interpret. If myself I cannot be able to interpret a legal document fully, how about a common mwananchi? And if we want to bring women on board, we must be able to give them information so that they can be able to make a decision. Then the other challenge is women are not most of them, as I told you, they are not registered. They need to be in a group, or you register a company. Be known to your government. It's only that the other day I heard somebody saying that there are people who don't belong to Kenya, and I want to remind them, all of us, we belong to this country. Those are utterances that I say from where I sit. They are careless, and they should not be uttered by a leader. Because the moment you do that, what are you telling the other group that you think they are not with you?
But let me just ask, because sometimes that information is not provided.
Yes.
So where can someone get this information? Who is educating these people? Because sometimes we perish because it's because we don't know, and yet the people who we are going and trusting to give us that information are being hesitant, or they're not giving us full information. So we have this gap. Who now goes to tell these women the truth of the matter? Because there are things like the way you're saying, even registering, where do these people go? Because maybe that information is there, and I've had so many situations whereby you find that they're saying that, like, even the government can provide money and what have you, stuff, but you find that people don't even know where to go, because they're like, hey, pesa, and iko tu huko, hata tujui ilipeanwa wapi, iligawanwa na nani, imekuliwa na nani, we just hear and what have been those stuff zote. So where is the gap here? Why don't we have this information? Because the people we are going to are either not giving us full information or half-baked information.
First of all, as a woman in this country, or wherever women are, you must initiate the conversation. And all governments, they have very good proposals for women. And it's up to, like, if you use our Kenyan context, we have Huduma Center. Huduma Center is able to give all the information. If you go there, you'll be able, it's a one-stop shop. You can be able to register your business, you can be able to know about tax, you can be able to know about land, anything that you require. And they are devolved. So nobody should have that reason that you don't know, not unless you don't want to go. And if you go the first day and you feel like you are not welcomed or accepted well, you can go the following day. The idea here, you have to keep knocking, and keep asking, because if you don't ask, the answer is no.
Yes.
Automatically. And therefore we as women, we need to keep asking, asking. Number two, we have institutions that government is mandated to actually empower women. We have officers on the ground who are doing so much. So as women, there are some women I know, they will hear there is a government initiative where people are being trained. They will not turn up. The officer will come. But if you don't turn up, will they remove you from your house? So you have to come out. If there is an empowerment forum, like the ones that we normally hold, if we call you and you don't come, then how else do you get the knowledge? The other thing is capacity building yourself. We need the knowledge. You need the knowledge, for example, to be able to know this and this place. And I would recommend every woman who wants to start a business, just start a course. You know, even if it is computers, even if it is, you know, like when I started the cyber business, you know why it went down? Is because I was being cheated by the people I had employed. Internet iko chini. And I would believe, because I don't know ikiwa chini ama juu inakaa namna gani. So I have to believe, you know. So you must have the capacity. You must know. And also get to find out what is your gift. God-given gift. What can you do if you are taken to the desert? What can you do with your own hands? You know, what can you be able to do? Then the other thing that that faces women economic empowerment is most of the women are not their own. They don't love one another in terms of they cannot put a good word on you. And you find as women, we need to be able to mention other women in a room full of opportunities, you know? And that is what we call women empowerment. So any woman who is in a position of leadership, it is the high time to realize that one of the ways to empower women is to mention them in a room full of opportunities. You know, don't just get people to reward them in either politically or they are your relatives or that, but if we want to make sure that we have rided on the women who are there before us, we are stepping on their shoulders, then we must be able to propel this information. And it doesn't matter whether this person comes from your area, is your tribe, so long as they are women and you know their capacity, you can be able to mention their name. Of course, we have several pillars, about 5 of them on women economic empowerment. Number 1 is education. Now education in Kenya, we thank God, it is free for all, and it is and I pray that the government in place must be able to propel that, and everybody is going to school. Long time ago, women were not going to school. And these days women have even at the university, where the man, where you have a PhD, you look like you have a first degree. So you must be able to that is how we are looked at, you know. The Kenyan context, and many employers, they will look at you as a woman instead of looking for at you from the neck upward. And I think that's the conversation we should always have. Look at a woman from the neck upward. The next one is health. Women are affected in terms of health. The wash issues, you know, many women they will not even take like, for example, in offices, they will not take water because the toilet is very far. And the most annoying one is the one for teachers, because when teachers are teaching and the toilet is far and the students are there, and then the student will keep counting, mwalimu ameenda ya kwanza, second time, the third time. So teachers, instead of being laughed at by the kids, they opt not to take water. And now that has a reproductive health issue system. There's a challenge there. The same case applies in very many offices. You find the women toilets, they are normally locked. And I'm asking myself, why are the women toilets normally locked? What do we go to do there? So we should be able to look at the health system. The maternal issue. Many women up to now, they are still dying while giving birth. You can imagine. The issue of sexually transmitted diseases. We still have women who are dying of HIV. We still have, like, the current issue of cancer. There is no home without a cancer issue right now because of the food and the water that we are taking. The third one is security. A man would sleep outside here. And you try doing that, even a 35 boy is going to come and try to rape you. So until all women are safe, the world is not safe. Kenya is not safe, you know. And therefore, that's a pillar that women hold on in terms of empowerment. What is your safety? You know, like when we were running for campaigns, I remember my mentors in politics, without mentioning them here, but they know I salute them all, men and women. We salute you. They used to tell me, dead people don't give stories, dead people don't vie. So the first thing and the biggest budget I had during my campaign is security. to have like jamas hapo, and you know there is a way we used to communicate, and they know I want you to be removed from here, you know, and you know, and when you are going out there, women we are shamed all the time. People will just meet with you and they want to touch your breast, they want to touch your face, they want to touch your buttock somewhere, you know, just to harass you. That is security issue, sexual violence, you know. Also there's another aspect of security in terms of women right now, the incest, you know. We have so many women being harassed. That is the worst form of gender-based violence in terms of how I understand gender-based violence, because we have so many children who, like during COVID, these children, they never went to the highways, they never went to school, they never went to the street, they were just at home, but then they were pregnant. Imagine. So who impregnated these children? It is their fathers, their grandfathers, their uncles, their brothers. You know, it is the people who we purport to be actually be
the people supposed to be protecting them. They are not.
That is another form. The other one is finance. You know, when you don't have money, I experienced this, by the way. You know, during my campaign, when I was campaigning, we used, between my campaign time and the time we were finishing the election, and of course we were left with debts to pay. That is not a secret. We had used over 18 million and we lost the election.
Imagine.
And we sold I sold one of my cars, I sold a piece of land. We did all that and we lost. So finances is a problem. And Kenyans don't make it easier for women. Because they will, you go for a meeting and you're giving them everybody 200 or 300, and your men counterpart, they're giving them 500. They'll say aka ni kadogo, you know, and you know, and you've used your money. Also, when you're going to bargain for something, if you're going to buy a piece of land and you come walking and a man come driving, even if they have zero and you have 1 million carrying with your handbag, first of all they will like umekuja kutafutia nani? So Madaraka leo at least hamjajua vile nimekuja. So wengine wakikuja si mnauzia tu mashamba hapa. But other places women are looked at in terms of the value, the kind of a phone you have, the shoes you're wearing, your hair.
Exactly.
You know, and actually, somebody looks at you and you know.
And actually that is very real, because there's a time just in this business of selling land, there's a lady who came in, I'll never forget, she came in just a skirt, rubber shoes, mtu watu kukutana na yeye, you'll be like, really?
Yes.
And I remember she came in. For me, I believe I don't judge by how you look, because I have interacted. You remember ule nani wa KQ alikuwa anaitwa nani, ule si wa KQ ama alikuwa anaitwa this Masai guy.
Yes, he is there.
And I remember he used to walk on River Road, anatembea River Road kama amevaa two sandals, you can't whatever. So I learned a lot from that person. And that lady came and everyone was just brushing her, like wana nikam. So I was like, hi, can I help you? Can I be of assistance and what have you? And I remember she said, but they have seen a piece of land, and that land was close to, it was going for around 8.4 million.
And she bought.
Do you know, even when I was feeling, my own boss was like, lakini wewe uko sure huyu ana, and I feel, and we feel everything I took her through, and she told me I'll come back tomorrow. Even for me, I was like, okay, karibu sana. So unajua that part of me, the Goserian part, karibu sawa, tutaonana kesho. Do you know she came back and she paid, mtu anauza matunda.
Wow.
She paid 8.4 million. I did not believe
that is women empowerment, you know. And the last point before I lose my thought is the emotional part of it. Like for example, right now we have very many issues to do with mental health. As a woman, are you able to handle that? If for example you are diagnosed with a chronic disease, are you able to handle that? If you lose your marriage, because there are so many divorce cases now, are you able to handle that? If you lack a child, are you able to handle that? If you lose your job, emotion, how are you able to cope, you know? So that is all form of women economic empowerment, and it's wholesome, it's inclusive. And what I know about our country is that on the 10-point agenda, or 9-point agenda, 9-point agenda of the president, one of the key agenda is women empowerment. You know, women empowerment, and therefore women should be able to take care of that and look at a way to be able to spearhead our activities. Like for example, there is a new activity, the one that we started in Murang'a. We are doing arrowroot crepes, arrowroot biscuits, arrowroot fra, you know, even arrowroot sweets. I think we shall soon do that.
Sweets. I'm following for that.
You can imagine. So in the digital space, we in the women need to actually come and be part of that, and don't fear. You know, like women fear even when you tell them you can get your money online. They're like, no, me, I'll go to the bank. You know, I was in that cocoon for a very long time, and I'm like, hey, these transactions are online, they're not as ready, so you lose yourself, and therefore in terms of women economic empowerment, we have many institutions that are teaching that. We have University of Nairobi, and particularly where I am, African Women Study Center. We also have a hub. We call it WeHub, and there is a lot of work that is being done there. There is a lot of innovation, there is a lot of incubation, there is a lot of teaching that is ongoing, and it's open to the public in terms of training. And therefore, when there are such trainings, as a woman, even if you have no time, it is important to be able to be there. Otherwise, if you don't put yourself, you don't give yourself a lot of information, then you'll always be hearing, hey, those ones were given this loan, these ones were given this one, this one were given this one. But and of course you have to balance yourself between money and family and whatever you are doing, because many women also, when they become empowered, there is a connotation that
there is actually a challenge being able to balance, Julia.
Yes.
You see, handling all these things at a time, as much as we are very good multitaskers, we are in a space whereby we cannot be able to balance, and that now maybe leads to my other question: where are we going wrong as women? Because we are facing a lot, and sometimes we take in so much, and we feel that the society demands a lot from us, because you're looking at a situation whereby you're a businesswoman, you're a leader, you go back home, you're a mother, you have kids, you have a husband in other instances, and all these people, it's like you're in the middle, and everyone just wants a piece of you. And it comes a time whereby you feel like, I can't take this.
Yes, that is a feeling that comes to every normal woman, and if you don't have such a feeling, then you must be something else. But as women, sometimes this is what I normally say. It is important to know if you are in business. When you go back home, you are a mother, you are a wife, and that's it, you know. And then if you go to now the political space, when you go there, to them you are their leader, but back at home there is who you are. And that's why people like me, I have separated myself with politics. My family is not in politics. My family is not involved. It is me who is involved. They are my support system, yes, but do not find me posting their photos. You cannot take any of my photos and tell me these are your children, or no, I don't do that, because I separate them. It is me who has stuck my neck out there for my life. Then they can be calm, you know. So you must be able to separate, and the line must be drawn very clear. Very clear. And many a times when we are doing economic empowerment, I remember one time when I started this economic empowerment, and I was empowering women how to make soap in Kagema. I'm empowering them how to have nursery beds for trees, fruits and all that. Then one person just comes from the blues and want to ask me, because I was dressing in a yellow dress and all that.
Like the one?
Like the one that I'm wearing. I think I just love yellow. Sana. You know. And then he is like, wewe ni Mkamba. Can you imagine? You know,
our director is Kamba, by the way.
But that was meant to humiliate me. That was meant to humiliate me, because when he asked like that, he knew I would start coming to defend myself and do all that. But I didn't do that. Instead, I looked for that guy and asked him, I want you to remind me, maybe I don't know where I come from. And you have to be, as a woman, you must be able to confront issues. I know I'm quoted that mimi ni moto wa kuotewa mbali. You don't come pushing me around.
Yes.
I'll tell you no. I mean, stick to your lane. If you have something to say bad about me, tell me. If you have nothing to say about me, don't even like my post. Don't. But then don't humiliate me, because I will not allow anybody to come to my inbox or to come to my phone and make noise to me or humiliate me. No, that will not happen. But that is empowerment. How many women can actually do that? So for women, it has to start with you.
Yeah.
It has to start with you. Like I would give a very weird example. Like now it is raining. If at any one time you are a vehicle lands over you, in terms splashes water on you, and then you are like, will I go back to work or what will happen?
Yeah.
If you are an empowered woman, you will not feel wish. You just go to work and tell the boss, no, vile niko leo. So there are two options. Naweza kaa ama niende.
But you see now,
change,
like now we are in a generation whereby people have a lot of excuses. People come up with a lot of excuses.
It is true, and that brings us to another point that I wanted to talk about. Excusitis. It's a disease that many people have in this country. Oh, you know, I have a headache, that's an excuse. Oh, you know, I don't have money, that's an excuse. Oh, you know, I'm not connected. Oh, you know, I don't know people.
Yes.
Oh, you know, our places, we don't have leaders. Oh, the graph is drawn. Have you heard of that one? Graph imechorwa.
Yes.
And people say that, you know, that is excusitis, a disease that we must be able to dismantle, and we must be able to refuse, because as women there are many opportunities. There are very many opportunities. I've just highlighted what I have been doing, and that is just, if you look at my book, my 21st leadership century leadership book, it has talked of very many businesses that I have done. Actually, I was just trying to like cut them short. So I want to encourage everybody. It is possible. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't wait for somebody to come and give you a seat. For example, if you go to a male-dominated area, please come with your seat and sit there.
Come with your seat.
You know, I'll do like what I normally do. If you go for a meeting, or maybe there are elections being held, I'm either the chair or the treasurer or the secretary. Hizo zingine mugawane. You know, you have to anchor yourself. If you don't anchor yourself, there's a lot of push and pull. You know, and it's not that I've not had a lot of challenges. No, I have had a lot of challenges. You know, when you want to anchor yourself, people will not even tell you what they're doing because they fear you. You know, some will humiliate you. They'll go and do an election and tell you, tuko na chair, tuko na nani. You know, all those things, they happen. But as a woman, you must be able to know that. Now, how do you empower women? These women we are talking about. How do you bring them to a place whereby we say they are empowered? Number one, as a woman leader, as an institution, as Madaraka, number one, you must be able to boost self-esteem of these women. How do you boost their self-esteem? If, for example, you have said some land here, like I can see, you can pay in installment 100, 100, 115, deposit 35k. If women cannot afford 35k, can you give them 10,000? That's a discussion, something that is not maybe documented like this one, but you must have something to be able to boost their self-esteem. And then the other thing is, these women, when you have short courses, please enroll them, please involve them. You know, I find, and I feel so bad when I find women meetings that have been called, but these women, they have been drawn from, you know, maybe for example you have a women empowerment forum on credit guarantees, or maybe a financial inclusion. Then tunaleta mama hata hajajua what we are talking about. It's good to expose them, but then brief them. You know, brief them. Don't just bring them to fill the room. You know?
And also understand if they understand what
you know, or such a thing.
Saying,
Then the other thing, be honest and be open.
Tell
these women, ukilipa 35, itakuwa hivi na hivi na hivi. Let them know from point A up to Z, this is the amount of money that will be they will be paying. Also, be a leader. Lead by example. You know, you cannot be telling people we are going to US and you don't even have a visa. You know, and support other women to run their own businesses. You know, so I think there are very many things that we can do to empower these women, exposing them, awareness. You know, and even like now I've been talking to mobile suppliers, because we are talking of having apps that can be able to hold even a conversation, you know. So this the mama boga in the village, maybe akona kababe, that kababe cannot be able to, maybe that's a conversation that they need to know that yes, we are talking about digitalization, but our women are not yet digital. They still have kababes. I have no problem with kababe, but at least if you are talking about women and financial inclusion, then we must be able to have phones that, even if it's a 1 GB phone or something that can hold a certain app, you know, so that these women, even when you tell them open this app, they can be able to open. Check on the internet who are Madaraka, what are they saying? You can be able, but sasa kama akona kababe hata ni kamulika mwizi. Yeah, so and then the last thing, of course, you should advocate for female colleagues, you know. I keep saying that, and it's very unfortunate, especially in the political arena, if there's a by-election in a certain area, normally it's the man who takes. If it was a woman's seat, that's what happens. So we should be able to advocate for other female leaders so that we can be able to propel them, and that is being honest with ourselves, you know, and genuine. You can be able to teach other people, what have I done to be here? But you know, there are people who are not honest, especially women. Sometimes they will not be able to mentor you and tell you, this is how I got to this point, because if they told you, you'd run away, you know. So we should be able to mentor people and be able to so I have this rule that I think it has helped me. Every time I have a 30-30 rule, every time I have 30% of my friends who are better than me, people I look up to, people I can tell, hey, you know, those people I can be vulnerable to, people I draw energy from. These are people we work with. They could be professors, they could be doctors, they could be teachers, but people who are better than me. Then I have the other 30%. The other 30%, or like call it even 40%, those are my peers. People we were in the same school together, people we went to college together, people we in the same level in life, you know. We are the time we are bringing up children, we're in the same level, so we're able to relate. So those are people, they are your peers, and at times you'll hear peers and they'll give you honest opinion. Hey, you're good in this, you're good in that, and all that. The other one is the other 30%, people that every time you have people you are mentoring, people you are pulling, and mentoring people, you don't need to be with them throughout, in working with them, but just a phone call, what are you doing today, have you gone for this meeting, even introducing them somewhere. So that has always to apply in your life. Otherwise, when you grow old, then it will be very frustrating for you, because number one, you'll have wasted your time, you'll have wasted your youthfulness, and you find many people like what is happening, especially now in our Mount Kenya, and I'm not ashamed to say that, because Mount Kenya, we have a problem of alcohol and drugs and substance. So our men, they are wasting themselves between the age of 18 and the age of 69. And you find that is a productive age. That's when they are childbearing and all that. There are so many women who are single mothers because not of their own intent. Actually, they did what they're supposed to do to be mothers, but then the fathers are not there. So you find our men, they are just drinking, all sort of things. But when they're in 70 years, now they are advisors. Advising who? You know, you are advising who?
After 40.
Yes, you are advising who after 70 years? It is the age that has taken you there. You are parents now. You need this. So it's a high time. We, as we empower the girl child, the women, the men also need to be included. And how do they get included? Is being with us. You know, we have not over trivialized women empowerment. No. The challenge with the boy child is that they just decided to relax. That is the challenge.
Do you know that that challenge is real?
No, they just decided to relax, and this is what I normally tell even my brothers. You know, me, I can get married to whoever, but then who can marry them? You know, and I have not seen very many marriages that have worked when the man is the one who is being supported 100%. It doesn't work it works,
but it doesn't work very well.
It doesn't work very well, and therefore this is what I tell men: they must work harder. And you see, it doesn't matter what you are doing, so long as you keep consistently keep doing it. Consistently keep doing it. Like for example, if you take an axe and there is a tree, let's maybe take this mic as an example, and you have an axe, and every time you are cutting every day, after 10 years or whatever time, it will fall down, it will cave in, you know, it will give in, you know. So you have to keep on scratching, keep on doing something. You'd rather be doing something than sitting down. And this is what I normally say: you'd rather be a Madaraka person than being a perfect coward. Jump into it. If you're auctioned, it is not you who has been auctioned. It is what the car they have taken, it's the house things. But you have to be doing something. If you go to the bank and get a loan and the business goes wrong, this is now to the men. If it goes wrong, it is okay. And what has to go wrong will have to go wrong anyway. So you go for the loan. If they come, it's okay. You run your lesson. Then you go to another bank or another. You know, but you have to keep doing. Let us not give up. Let us not give up. And even the women who are who are aware of those who are economically empowered. Let's take the other women. Let's show them the way. Try and advise them, give them unsolicited advice. One day they will remember you. So I know this country is on an upward trajectory in terms of women economic empowerment, and I know in a few years, if we embrace a few things, number one, food has to be plenty, because how do you talk to women and their children without food? So we at this particular time we have to plant. We have to cultivate our shambas, and when the season for harvesting comes, we have to make sure we harvest and we keep that food for a rainy day, and we do value addition. When we do value addition on our food, then when there is kiangazi, we will not have a problem. Then another thing we must do as women, let us plant trees. Many trees. We have a goal, an objective. To be able to have 1 billion trees. How do we achieve that as women? So everybody should be able to plant a few trees, even when nobody is seeing that. Get involved into these carbon credit things. Get involved into climate action issues. Find out what are they talking about, you know, so that at least by the time maybe 2030 we will have more women who are empowered. And more so, we need to, I am sure you'll ask me, how do we go to investment and all that.
That is so. We are gonna take a short break. When we are back, we are gonna speak just around 10 minutes about investment, about women investment, and also what should we have done better if we looked back when you're younger. Tukianza kuinvest ukikuwa 20 something, umesikia alikuwa na RAV4 na miaka ngapi, akienda nao kule kama ametoka carnival.
Can you imagine?
So after the break, we are going to talk about that investment, why you should invest, and what have you, and why also invest in Madaraka Homes. And of course, as Julia was telling us, akisema tutafunga na kuona yeye akidensi. Mimi sijaona mheshimiwa akidensi vizuri. I want to see those moves. So see you after this break. Percentage of people can well project what the future holds and then invest. Well, we bring you the residential solution in one of the fastest growing areas in Kenya. Juja Crescent Gardens is the perfect place for your perfect home. It's only 40 minutes drive from the Nairobi CBD off Thika Superhighway. The project is in a serene environment with hospitals, schools, police stations, great shopping centers, and well tarmacked roads. Madaraka Homes Ltd is offering this project at a crash price of 845,000 Kenyan shillings for an eighth of an acre and 5.5 million for an acre. Feel free to reach us on 0726 202 8. We bring you the residential solution in one of the fastest growing areas in Kenya. Juja Crescent Gardens is the perfect place for your perfect home. It's only 40 minutes drive from the Nairobi CBD off Thika Superhighway. The project is in a serene environment with hospitals, schools, police stations, great shopping centers, and well tarmacked roads. Madaraka Homes Ltd is offering this project at a crash price of 845,000 Kenyan shillings for an eighth of an acre and 5.5 million for an acre. Feel free to reach us on 0726 202 826 or visit our offices at TRV Towers, Ngara Road, 4th floor, Suite 4C. Madaraka Homes Ltd. As always, we have something great for you. Welcome back. Wow, today we've learned a lot. Hivi ndio unajuanga uko na mheshimiwa kwa building. Tumeongea. She has journeyed with us. She has told us about women. You know, I didn't know how women empowerment is huge. Like,
we have not even touched it anyway.
Yeah, I can say by what you said, like, we have a lot, and yes. I think women empowerment is just even a conversation on its own, whereby we need to discuss and see where do we go and get this help and what have you.
Yeah.
But now, when you look back, now matters investments, matters building yourself, because we have a lot of women. Sikuzi musema, aki by the way, hakuna hata land ya kurithi. Hakuna land ya kurithi.
You are lucky if you have one.
Hakuna land ya kurithi. So when you look back, because me, when I look back, manze, if there are things I wish I knew that I know right now. And I know there's a young lady watching us. There's a woman who is there somewhere, doesn't know where to start.
Yes.
Matters investment, is afraid to be conned yourself. You unaona pia ulikoniwa and what have you, but times. Those fears,
By the way, hata nishawahi jaribu kuuza cufflinks, gold, nikauza cufflinks at start. Somebody sold to us with my brother, and the only money we had 14,000, and we didn't, we were conned.
Yes, imagine. So what would you tell that woman, first of all, when you look at your younger self? What can you tell your younger self when you look back? And also, what can you tell that young lady who is watching and has maybe ameanza kazi, ule mama ako pale ako tu na ile pesa kidogo ajui pali ataanza? What advice can you give them?
Number one, you must shun all the negativity, because the world is full of negative people, negative things, so you must shun that. So if somebody tells you cannot do it, you know you can do it. So then the other thing, you must look for a mentor, somebody who can mentor you. If I am driving a Toyota, you cannot come to ask me about a Pajero or a Mercedes. You must go to the person who drives a Pajero and a Mercedes and tells you where the spare parts, So get the right information from the right people. Don't get information from just social media only and you take it as gospel truth. So the other thing, you must act. You must take action. You must be doing something. You'd rather fail doing 1,000 times than just being a coward, as I earlier said. And then you must be able to differentiate where are you in terms of culture. Like, for example, there are cultures, for example, they will not accept women in trousers and being conductors, or their cultures will not accept a woman in a miniskirt or exposing their. You must be conscious of your environment. Sometimes as women we are not conscious. You go somewhere and you just want to slay and look all that. You must be aware, who are you talking to? If you are aware of who you are talking to, if you are going to meet an MD, you must know how to dress. If you are going to meet your peers, you must know. If you are going out, you must be able to know how. You don't go out in a free reader thing, You must be able to. Lazima unajipanga ni kujipanga ama upangwe ama namna gani you know, you must be able to panga yourself and for those who are blessed to have a car, you can pack 1 or 2 sets of clothes, you know, even if you are not going to wear them, but you can be called. Maybe ukiwa unaenda carnival, prezo akuite anasema anataka kuona Natasha, na saa hizo uko na marongi hapo, unakaa matisho hapo na you know, so you must be able to plan yourself. If you look at men, they are very good at that. If you look at successful men, because that is the key word, successful men. I have met several of them, and I'm telling you, they'll have a bag in the car, they'll have a suit, na hanga imehang suit moja, and it's always there, inachenjua, inarudishwa hivyo. Huyo ni mtu anajipanga. So you might be in a place, mwito mahali akwambia tunaweza enda mahali, kainaenda hivi, then ameshajipanga. So men always, even if they are not saying it, it's not written anywhere, they are ahead of us in terms of planning themselves, you know. And that's why you find also in terms of even appointments. There's a company I worked for, I don't want to expose them here, but they know what I'm saying is true. We used to be called for board meetings. You're in Nairobi and you're told you need to meet the MD in Mombasa, Whiteside Hotel, and it is about 2. The meeting is 6, and the flight is provided. So it's up to you to decide utajump ama utakata. And that's how some of us we lost those jobs, because you're in town and you have to go back home, organize yourself. But for a man, kwenda ni kwendanga tukajurie mbele, you know. And those are we must be able to dismantle barriers that hinder women economic empowerment. Because if you call for a meeting like that one 6 in the evening, and I need to check the homework, I need to cook for my family, I needed to have planned myself, that is actually hindering me into that meeting. Sometimes even the media houses, you know, they'll put shows between 6 and 7. Now by the time you are in the studio by 6, you must have been there by 5. And what time did you prepare breakfast for your family? What time did you panga yourself? Are you seeing? So we must be able to dismantle all these things that are actually demeaning women and preventing them from coming. Like for example, if for Madaraka, I know Madaraka is doing better in that, but if the offices are very far, you know, from town, whereby there are no matatus and all that, and women have to, you know, catch up on a matatu, you can't walk all the way all the time. Pregnant women, how will they walk all the way? What are they going to do? So we must be able to dismantle all that hinders women. Anytime we are doing something, let's have a woman in mind. Let's think of women. I am told by my professors that long time ago in the army there were no toilets for women, and women, this is what they used to do. They used to go in turns, like we would go with you, and then you stand there and you prevent any person coming, because the women toilets didn't have doors. You can imagine, So women empowerment is all those things. And I know in terms of investing, it's not about millions of money. Even investing 1,000 bob, you can even decide you'll buy shares of 1,000 bob, this company, keep them there. That's investment. Don't climb the tree from the top, and don't compare yourself with other women who are successful. You do not know what they have done to reach there. And don't feel bad about yourself that you are not in that class and then they're already in that class. So the idea is to keep walking, you'll reach your destination. And don't, it's not a fly by night thing. And don't look for that, because many people have also not have missed. The women have missed on investing because they want a come rich quick scheme, you know. So you could even decide, like Madaraka, they are selling land and it's that 5,000. You can come here, talk to them, they can reduce for you as a woman at 10,000. You go 20, ukilenua kidogo mnaongea. By the end of the day, if you are umeshika hiyo proti, itakuwa yako kabisa by the end of the day. Tukiendelea hivyo, you know. But if you fear that you must have millions and millions of money, then it will be very hard. And investment also is also about small businesses, you know, cottage industries, you know. You can start making juice, you know. By the time the government, I'm not advocating for this, by the time it catches up with you, you have capital to register, you know. So you can start doing small things instead of you waiting to be told do this.
So it's very important to start where you
start
are,
where you are,
what you
with
have.
whatever you have,
Yeah.
and don't compare yourself with anybody. If you have 1,000 or 500 to start even an airtime business, a sweets business, just start there. Anza hapo. Of course it might be slow, but imagine as you continue, you will progress. We have heard of stories of rich Kenyan men and women who began as charcoal dealers, whatever. And even our president says ati alikuwa nauza kuku na mayai. I'm still waiting.
Consistency.
I'm still waiting to get kuku and mayai from him.
Yes,
Yes, because he's my friend now.
Yes.
So it's about taking a step. Every day you're doing something. Every day you're doing something. And I recently had a conversation with one of my brothers, and he's telling me that, hey, now you are overworking yourself. We want you to settle, you know. But I'm like, okay, even if I sit at home and I don't do something, I'll still get tired.
Yes.
If it is the backache, will still come.
Actually, you'll get more tired
You
because
get
there's
more
nothing
tired.
you're doing.
So you must keep on renewing yourself, and also renewing your upstairs, you know, capacity building, getting more knowledge, because that is part of investment. Education is an investment, you know. If today you told me to write for you a gender paper, a water paper, wash issue, I will charge you because I have invested my money in that.
Yeah,
So women, we must invest. You invest, even if it is these mediation courses that are being advertised everywhere. Invest. Kadogo too. You know, have that driving skill. Have that, you know, skills here and there before you get the big thing. And of course, there are very many opportunities for women. I know there are very many donors who are funding women to start enterprises. It's only that we don't know where they are. But if you keep looking, you will eventually get. And even for women living with disability, we are not leaving them behind. Because there is what you can do when you are there and seated. You could be the one maybe training other women in disability. You can go and start showing them how to do manual work, you know. And you know, you can do farming. The idea here is we must be doing something. If we don't do something, then we will just be there, and there would be no economic empowerment. And for sure, there's nobody. Money is very interesting. Nobody will tell you they have it. Everybody don't have money.
Everybody don't.
And when they are saying they don't have money, wananua V8 mpya.
Imagine.
Wananua house mpya. So it's up to us as women to actually realize that women economic empowerment is real, and we can be able to achieve. And at this rate where in Kenya now, people are talking about land, and you can go for places like Madaraka, get piece of land, sell for them maybe on their behalf. I don't know what the CEO will say. Now see what I'm telling women to do.
Imagine.
Come and ask Madaraka, we can sell your property. We can do this. Give us a commission.
Do you know, we actually have very flexible payment plans. And also, you can actually buy land with Madaraka, and then we build for you. Yes, it is very, very good with construction as well. And actually, we journey with you and explain to you. And one of the things that we are doing differently is that, first of all, we are only selling land that has really title. And I tell people, you mentioned about corn and what have you, and I tell people, and there's something that you raised and said, people don't want to know. Because I tell people, you don't ask these questions, the serious questions. For example, nimekuja nimekupatia pesa, I don't get to fuatilia hii pesa imeenda wapi, what do I need from this. You don't do your due diligence. And sometimes we get conned and tunauziwa hewa because of our lack of wanting to know. Actually, and shortcuts.
And now that you have talked about kuziwa hewa, there is this particular type of people who are in the diaspora, our brothers and sisters. Sometimes they want to invest through their relatives, and then you keep sending money back home. You're sending money back home. When you come back after years, there is nothing, or maybe there is just a a mabati structure.
Imagine.
So it's good to know such homes, you know, and you can do your due diligence. You can send your relative, go there and check for me. At least that they can do, because they will not want to you to be cheated. Then you buy properties with companies that are known. Otherwise, I've seen people come to Kenya and go mad.
Kabisa.
Because do you know all their savings.
Kwanza I even had a scenario with a client that wanted to buy a land from me, and it was like, Natasha, how will I buy? Like, I don't trust anyone nowadays. Kwanza yeye, he was conned by the wife and the mother.
Wow.
How do you even you send pictures? You apaka I can invite friends, like pay your air ticket. I have a holiday home in Mombasa. Only to land, and there is nothing.
There's, you know, sometimes our own people will do such things to us. Maybe that's 1 in a million. But I think the Kenya we are living in, the people in diaspora, I feel for them at times. I have a friend of mine who was, I think, was building for the mother a place in Choka, Amasjui, Rwai, those areas and she has been sending money, and as we were speaking, I think she had lost about 6 million, you know, on building a house. She had lost it. So I was asking her, why wouldn't you have even told me as your friend?
And we live in a digital world, we also,
you know,
close
but you
friends,
may not
relatives,
know. You know, people who want to cheat you, their business is cheating you, so they'll get away with it. But at least when you go to companies, you can be able to call here and get to know, is Madaraka Homes registered. You get to know. And you can ask a few people. So I think this issue of mtu wetu syndrome has to end, and people have to expand their thinking and now start working even with people they don't know, because somebody who doesn't know you really, they will not joke around with you because they don't know you.
They don't know you.
But your relative, most likely, I'm not saying relatives are bad, there are some who are very good, but some will just eat your money because mtoto wetu. So we must stop the mtu wetu syndrome. So that we can be able to move on. Yes.
Wow. Like, I've learned so much. I feel that we can have this conversation, having a choleric and a leader who likes talking, and politicians stroke everything else. By the way, you're such an impactful woman.
Thank you.
There's something that people are asking the other day. Hata mimi najiuliza ulisaje kwa ile nini ya unafaa kukua hapo kwa.
Yes. By the way, hii kitu na Prezo ananifikiria.
Anakufikiria. Tafadhali Prezo.
Ananifikiria najua hivyo. Because you see, he is the president. And some of us, we are better off with him than being outside. Because we can actually contribute to the development of Kenya Kwanza government, you know. And this is what that's why I'm urging him and the other opposition leaders. Let's end this stalemate. Let's reason together. You know, there's nothing that is static in this world. And I also want to speak to my brothers and sisters who think that this is their government and it's not other people's government. We must include everybody. We are talking about inclusivity. We must be able to bring everybody on board. And these shenanigans of people wanting to tell others are others, they are not Kenyans, we must be able to not to widen the gap of divisiveness, but to narrow it, to be able to come together. And that is the work of the president, you know. And even the CSS who are there, the ministers, we respect what they are doing, but they must also know that they are representing people and they are talking to people with feelings and all that. So let us not have our leaders actually like in Kikuyu we say you know, like you are
house of people.
You know, like you want to show me niko hapa. It's not time to just dump ourselves right now. It's a time in our country that we need everybody on board, and Kenya belongs to all of us.
True.
And there is nothing stuck in this world. Today we had COVID for 2 years. We were on mask. We never came to work. We were actually at home. People died. That is a new normal that was there. And therefore, even in politics, there's nothing that is static. And therefore, we must be able to include everybody. And this culture of we were in politics, tulikuwa kwa hii camp sasa tukishamaliza, tukishapata prezo, we move on as a country, all of us. And that is the only time we shall be able to deliver anything in this country.
Nice.
Yes.
So as we wind up, I want you to maybe look at the camera and talk to that lady who is feeling that she does not have hope. I may lose hope kabisa. Ajui yaanze wapi. There are times there with that lady, maybe there's a lady that is watching and alinini cyber kama ajui anything, like, and I feel this is my downfall. How do I pick myself from where I am? I want you to talk and encourage that lady who is that woman somewhere watching you right now, and try talk and give her hope. Tell her that there is still hope. She can still pick herself from where she is and climb that ladder.
You know, that is a very interesting question, and I know women in this country have gone into a lot of losses in terms of being auctioned when they have had their businesses. Some have lost the business because of high interest rates. Some have lost their businesses through spouses, through friends. But I want to encourage women and tell them, for example, if you want to start a business and start it, we are all in different levels. You can start a business even with 1,000 shillings. And 1,000 shillings, I can give you an example. For example, today, you must have 10 people in your phone. You can tell, give me 100, and they give you. If they don't, you need to delete their numbers, because if they cannot help you on that, then you don't need them. And even when you die, you need like 10 people or 6 people to carry you to your last destination. So those people, they should be able to contribute to your well-being, you know. And if you want to start maybe a bigger business, you must maybe 100,000. You must have friends, like 20 of them, who you can borrow 5,000 and they give it to you. If they don't, and you are having a phone, sell it. If you sell that phone and you can start your business, very soon you'll buy another phone, or even your TV. Sometimes you go to those extremes. Instead of having a TV with you and you wanted maybe some small capital, or as little as 1,000, why would you be having even plates in your house? Why would you be having 2 dozen sets with biri ama tatu, and you are just 3 of you in the house? Sell one and start where you are. So this is my advice to women who have lost, women, and especially women who actually were in politics. Allow me to say this, because these are women who invested in politics and they lost. This is what I would advise you. There is no need of sulking, and you know, you are every time feeling bad about yourself, feeling sulking. There is no point of doing that, and there is nobody who is going to actually embrace you on that. Start moving. If it is you have a company, start tendering. If it is you can give motivational talks, do it. If you can do popcorns, do it. Don't swallow your ego. You know, I don't shy from saying I used 18 million na sina kiti.
Imagine.
But I'll still get that money. That has not defined me. You know, it has actually given me a lot of strength, because I know now the mistakes. So women who have would like to start even owning a home, and especially the single mothers, and there are so many of them in this country. You want to own a home, and you're wondering now, those homes, they are for other people. Even if you would buy land in Mpeketoni and you're in Nairobi, one day it will appreciate. And you know, I bought land the other day, I think 20,000 an acre, or almost, imagine. So there are opportunities in this country, and it's us as women to actually look at them. And of course, you must avoid negativity. Nobody should actually poison your mind, because you are what you are. If you think you are going to be wealthy, for sure you'll be. And I believe we shall be wealthy. You know that.
Si ndio wale wase by the way.
Si ndio wale.
Si uambie niko kwa ile 30. Usisahau kuambia hiyo kwa
ile ya 30
hapo katikati.
So you must be able to know women, we have the capacity. Start doing something. Please don't let any negativity comes into your mind. If you find somebody is very negative, even if it's a spouse, you can decide, because you're not going to run away from your spouse, avoid that topic when you are there. And you can discuss other things. You know, if it is your pastor who is very negative about your life, what you do, avoid that topic and discuss other things. So negativity, you know, we are what we are. We are constantly hearing. If you keep hearing that you're going to make it, definitely you make it. And last thing is a self-talk. You must have a conversation with yourself every day in the morning, and you tell yourself, I am enthusiastic, I am a winner, I am rich, I am. You tell yourself all
the best of the best.
So and you dress up and go. Hata kama huna pesa ya lipstick ile kali, nunua ile tulikuwa tunaita Irene. Kama ni nini? Kama ni kujipaka mafuta, jipake hiyo pods vizuri, jiangalie and look at the earrings or the chains or whatever. Hata kama ni za bao tokelezea. Nobody will know ni ya pesa gapi. Hata nywele, acha kuiachilia tunasema sasa uwezi, but you must show up. You must show up. And when you are walking, don't walk like you are borrowing permission to actually walk. You know, enda kama Hilton belongs to you. You know, have that confidence. When you do that, and sometimes this is a tip I've learned, you can get away with the security issues, like when you have confidence. But when they see you are timid, I can tell you watakwambia wewe umetoka wapi, unaenda wapi. So you must look it, you know. So for women, I know we can get a conversation. Can go to my Facebook page. You can come to Madaraka Homes. I am an easy person to get. Julia Chege, hivyo tu hapo. You're able to get me.
And one of the things, you know, this morning, actually, our MD was talking about negativity. Like, block your nini, block your ears and just focus on yourself. Like, be confident about how you are, and also power of association. And you've even said it there. If these friends are not helping you, unaona, delete.
Actually, this is what I recommend to women. Sometimes they're like, imagine alipanda bay, alipanda class, nikamuita achukuagi simu yangu. I have one rule, and my friends they know. I call you once, I'll forgive you, maybe you were in the toilet. I call you twice, I'll forgive you, maybe you were eating. I call you the third time and you don't pick up my phone, you will never see my call again. I'll just text you, you'll never see my call again. Because if you cannot pick, and I don't get somebody else's phone to call you. If you have a problem with me, Natasha, you already have a problem, irrespective if I take someone else's phone to call you. So you must be able to differentiate. If you have women friends or friends who are not valuing you as a woman, who are not appreciating you as a woman, learn away from them. Sprint. Go to people who are celebrating you. If the group that you have don't see your value and don't see like you are somebody, we are over 50 million Kenyans. So why would you be concentrating with one person who is looking down upon you? We are in Nairobi only. We are 5 million going. You see, so you can even shift from an estate. If in your area there are women who are very negative, they don't like you, they what, move, go to another estate. Nothing static. You can even move out of the country. I have so many friends who have moved out of this country and they have made their life. So it's not about being static. But of course, as women, you must watch our health. Of course, you know, once you're healthy, this is what I normally say. Health is your greatest wealth. So if you're healthy and you can be able to think light and articulate issues and go to work, then I think that's the best gift.
Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure having you on this show. By the way, I am so humbled, and thank you very much for even associating. It means that if you have believed in us, in Madaraka Homes, in the Game Changer GM, najua niko hapo kati, najua hapo, so thank you very much. And as we wind up, I would like, unajua kuna watu wengine wajuu, ulisema unapenda kudance, and na venye unakaa msawa hivi yani hivi, naweza taka tuone ukidance as we wind up this. For our viewers from wherever you're watching us from, thank you for joining us on this show. Thank you for being part of this, whether you're in diaspora, you're in Kenya, you're in Eldoret, tuko Africa, Central Africa, West Africa. Asanteni sana, tumeshukuru tena sana for joining us, for listening to us, and even the engagements that you've had with us, the questions that you've asked. Time is not on our side, but we'll go through the questions and also engage with Julia. She's a very, very nice woman, a very impactful. She has touched so many lives, and if you're there, you feel that you're down, she's somebody who is ready to guide. And I love the fact that she mentors people, and she said that the last 30 lazima amente. So let's also follow her, see her. Just, she has very nice insights, matters life, matters women, matters politics. And one thing I love about you, Mheshimiwa,
Thank you.
she speaks the truth. She will always tell you the truth. Kama haiwezi, haiwezi. Kama inaweza, inaweza. So thank you very much for coming to Madaraka Homes. Thank you for engaging with us. I hope for more interactions, because I know the director is already signal and somehow we have a lot of questions, but because of time, we're gonna send Julia those questions.
Yes,
please follow her on her page. I think the director has tagged her on her page, and get to learn more.
Yes.
If matters investment, land, Madaraka Homes, as always, we have something great for you. So we are ready, director, to dance as we end this.